I never intended for the words to come out like that, but they did. I looked him straight in the eye, my voice flat and drained, teetering on the edge of a breakdown. You're the father of my children, but you're not my soulmate. If you've ever said something that cracked open the silence in someone else's heart, you'll understand why this still lingers in my chest. If this stirs something in you, leave a comment. And if you've ever stood at the crossroads between truth and tenderness, hit that subscribe button. This one's raw. It wasn't a fight. No shouting, no slam doors, no plates thrown. It was worse. It was still unsettlingly quiet. Dinner had just ended. The kids were upstairs, one yelling about missing sock, the other glued to cartoons with the volume maxed out. I stood at the sink, rinsing dishes without focus. He leaned against the counter, sipping his third glass of water as if it were something stronger. I feel like we're just roommates, he said. 7 words. That's all it took to shift something in the room. I didn't even lift my head. Yeah, I muttered. I felt that for a while now. His eyes blinked in surprise, like he hadn't expected me to say it out loud, or maybe to agree. A pan knocked lightly against the sink. That was the only sound. Then he asked, "So what were we even doing?" Going through the motions. I should have stopped there, given myself a beat to breathe, to weigh my words. But instead, I dried my hands, turned to face him, and let the sentence slip free. You're the father of my kids. You're not my soulmate. His expression didn't crumble. It froze. No fury. No confusion. Just emptiness, like something vital had just drained out of him. He placed the glass down softly, like he didn't want to wake something fragile in the room. "Okay," he said, so low I barely heard him. And then he left, not with a dramatic exit, but with quiet steps, past the kitchen counter, past a heap of laundry on the staircase, past the children's drawings half-taped to the walls. No words, no resistance. Just gone. I stood there holding the towel, hands still slightly damp, wondering who I had become. It's not like we didn't try. From the outside, we looked solid, refrigerator covered in family photos, showing up at school events, wearing cheesy costumes on Halloween, tag-teaming groceries and budgets and weekend plans. But somewhere in the middle of it all, I stopped feeling like he saw me. He was always occupied with work, house projects, errands, and I was always worn down by feedings, emails, dishes, deadlines. We stopped reaching for each other, not just physically, but emotionally. And when we did speak, it was just coordination. Did you grab the milk? Can you take Maya to dance class? Did you pay the Wi-Fi bill? There were no fights, just routine, and I mistook that for peace. That night, though, it hit me. Comfort isn't the same as connection. He wasn't cruel or neglectful. He was simply there, present but absent. And I was clinging to a version of our life that had already dissolved. So I said what I said. Sharp, final. I thought honesty would set us both free. Instead, it shattered him. The next morning, the guest room was empty. Closet half cleared. His toothbrush gone. The kids didn't say anything. Maybe they understood. Kids always sense what adults try to hide. I sat on the edge of the bed, mine now, staring at the folded laundry he left behind. A few T-shirts I couldn't bring myself to throw out. One still carried his scent. That's when I realized I didn't miss him. I missed us before the mundanity swallowed everything. Back when we were partners, not project managers. A week later, I reached out, not to fix it, just to talk. He responded once. "I understand. Hope you're okay." That was it. No resentment. No questions. Just space. Like my words were sacred enough for him not to challenge them. But every time I look at our children, I wonder, was I brutally honest? Or just too drained to fight for what we had? Because truth be told, he wasn't just a man who shared my children. He held my hand through labor, stayed up with me when our son wouldn't sleep, made me laugh in the middle of 3 a.m. diaper disasters. Once upon a time, he looked at me like I was his whole world, and I stopped looking back. We often wait for big betrayals to justify leaving. Affairs, lies, violence. But sometimes the thing that hurts the most is the absence, the quiet, the slow unraveling, the way someone can be in every memory, but still feel unreachable. I haven't seen him in person since. We co-parent through texts and schedules. We exchange polite greetings. We smile for the kids, but it's hollow now. Not cold in a cruel way, just finished. I used to believe that telling the truth was brave, but sometimes courage feels like guilt when it comes too late. So if you're in that numb roommate phase, pause. Really pause. Look at each other. Ask the tough question, do you still see me? And if the answer is no, don't run. Stay. Talk. Work through it. Because I didn't. I used one sentence like a blade, and it cut through years of love, of history, of us. I didn't expect him to go quietly, but he did. No shouting, no pleading, just belief. And sometimes being believed hurts more than being doubted. If this reminded you of someone you lost or words you wish you could unsay, leave a comment. If you've ever stayed silent when you should have spoken, or spoken too soon when silence would have saved it, hit that subscribe button. There's more like this. Because the hardest part of telling the truth isn't saying it. It's what you lose once it's spoken. And I lost him, not because he stopped loving me, but because I told him to.